radio. They're pumping my song on the radio, y'all. Hey. Yeah, I'm ready to move on like I know I'm supposed to. I can't help that fact that I chose you. There's some things that your heart's gotta go through. But don't hurt someone you love, you do. And not tell someone you love, you do. And not tell someone you love, you do. Hey, and not tell someone you do. And not tell someone you love, you.
Greetings, everybody.
Hey, greetings.
Welcome
Hey.
to the Music Link, you guys. We're here at evening
The Music
broadcast with the one and only Mark JUNIUS,
Thank you so much.
musical genius.
Thank you so much. It's a
You guys
pleasure.
see all the instruments that he plays. How many in total?
10.
10.
Yes.
So, what all? I only put a few. So, what all instruments do you play?
well, we know we have obviously the piano, which is I've been playing the longest. The piano. We have the drums, and we have the bass. We have the guitar. We have the saxophone. Okay, we have all saxophones. We have the soprano, which I learned on first, which is the most difficult. Tenor, and I haven't played a baritone yet, but I got it if I can do a tenor. Now, and then we have a flute here. Okay, we have the doom doom. Okay.
Right.
What else have I picked up lately? A vibraphone. Okay, and so we're at 8 now, and then our last two, which are my new instruments, is my talk box and vocoder. So we have 10 altogether. Okay, 10 instruments, and they're all different instruments. Okay.
And they're like self-taught, all of them?
All of them, I'm self-taught, but I had influential teachers
Right.
like Ed Wing and everybody who took me in to further develop it. Stephen Villanueva, Edwin Sankey, Juan Brown. He's in Lamert all the time. He's a drummer. I spent a lot of time with Juan. Juan took me to King OG's spot on Venice. I never experienced anything like that in my life. He took me at like 2 in the morning.
The youngest person there.
Yeah, I was the youngest person there besides Luke. And that was years ago. Yeah, so that's I met Ross Al, and they had a Korg there, a 1985 like Korg 800 or something. It was a ridiculous analog keyboard, and you know, King O had that organ,
Right.
and he had the piano. And so when I got there, I couldn't believe it. I said, "Juan, what is this place?" And I've been funking out on the west side of LA ever since.
Just beautiful. Okay, let's tell the people. Oh, let me bring this a little.
You know, I'm Lamert Park legend. You know.
You're part of it now, huh?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I
So-
just making sure my sound was up because we don't have the mic. So, where are you from? Let's tell the people where you're from.
Well, that's very important. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm originally from Akron, Ohio. So that's where I'm born and raised, west side of Akron. Went to school, Schumacher. I went to some high school at Buchtel High School, and I moved in 2001, February 7th, 2001, 2 days after my 16th birthday.
So you were 16, you came to LA.
Yes. I was 16. It seemed like it was just yesterday.
All right.
Now, I'm 35, so it's like, whoa, what a...
That's crazy. I feel like too part of watching you grow.
Right. It seems like it was just a couple of years ago, but it's been so long. But the influence has gotten greater. I think what's important about where we're at in Lamert, I call it Lamertia. I'm in Lamertian.
Yeah.
I call it Lamertia because I feel like it's a female birthing ground. It's masculine. It's protected by masculine energy, but it's a female
Look, preach,
energy.
you better say that.
Yeah, there. So I call it the Mersha, you know.
So tell us about your music influence. Like, what got you into music in the beginning?
Well, that was divine. I think it all happened to do with the master plan. I ended up being adopted. I went from the hospital to my Aunt B's house, which was my grandmother's aunt. This is her mom's sister, and her only sister, her only sibling, Susie Rice and Beatrice Rice. Okay, so she never had children. She was born with some kind of ability not to have children. So she adopted, but they all was always teenagers. So somehow, some way, my mom got pregnant with me super young. Didn't tell anybody. Passed out. No one knew what was going on. She went into labor at the hospital. My grandmother, who was a nurse for over 35 years, assumed that she had some kind of cardiac issue, but she was in labor. So I was born. My mom was very young, maybe 14 years old, 15 maybe, barely. And this is back in the 70s. My mom was too young at the time, so I went and I was adopted into the family, thank God, to my Aunt B, who begged my grandmother. My grandmother was very strong about not wanting me to leave with her, but she said, you know, she had hit my grandmother with a low blow. And she said, you know, I ain't never had no kids. Sadie, you got all these kids, you know. I mean, so that's where I spent the first 4 years of my life, but that was divine because she was a minister. She was a minister, and she had built in the Midwest. It's very common for you to build the church on the side of your house.
Right.
It's a common thing. You can go hang out with people. They'll have a church on the side of their house. It's a common thing there. It's not out of the norm. And so she did the same thing. She built a church on the side of her house, and that's where she preached out of. But in that church was where all the musical instruments were at.
Okay.
And so I wandered into the church one day at being a baby, and lo and behold, here we are now. Super musician, you know?
Okay. So this was the keys, the first thing you started with?
The first thing I started with was the drums. It was the first thing available to me because I remember seeing the piano, but it was always locked.
Okay.
So I didn't know what was under there. But the drums, my brother David, and we were all named out of the Bible. So my brother David, Tina, Matthew, he's the oldest, and I'm Mark, okay? And she named us all out of the Bible. Okay, so I practiced on drums first, which I'm really good at. You know, I'm not like a killer drummer, but I can definitely do an album.
Okay.
I recorded an album. I've been recording music. We're gonna listen to some music I did with some drums tonight on the music link.
Okay. So how old were you when you realized that you was getting good?
10.
10?
Yeah, my grandmother was like, he's really good. My grandmother stopped spanking me too. That's how I knew something was going on. Yeah, because she said, yeah, she didn't want to upset me because when I was upset, I wasn't creative, and so I got yelled at harshly, but she respected my energy as a musician. She didn't like. I remember one time at school they sent me home because my hair cut. I had lines in it, and it wasn't nothing like discriminatory or anything. They were just being, discriminating against me. My grandmother came up to the school, and sure enough, these teachers thought that she was going to side with them or whatnot. My grandmother said, does he have all his things? When they're looking like, she's like, I'm ready to go. Okay, and so they sent me back to the class to get my bag and shit, And then I came back, my grandmother had her keys dangling in her hand. She didn't give them a chance to even explain.
Older people, I'm telling
she was like, come with me. So she took me home. She said I could watch TV and play video games. And they said, oh, he either has to cut it or, he can't come back to school until it grows out. And my grandmother let me stay home for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, let me stay home straight. That's the best 2 weeks of my life. And you know what happened during those 2 weeks? The Michael Jackson marathon came on. I couldn't believe it. I said, this has to be. Then I thought I was just lucky.
So wait, when you was in your teens then?
No. I was definitely not in my teens. I was like maybe 11 years old at the time. Yeah, I was 11. Most definitely, I remember.
Oh, so you really have this not like an old soul, but you have a good connection with older people. Like you. Yeah.
I understand their pain. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and that right there is the deepest part that they carry, actually. You know, if they haven't really balanced out, no one really does. It's very rare that you get somebody that's balanced all the way out. And so they carry a lot of things with them. A lot of that is pain. Good memories, but a lot of it is pain because it's trained. So when I come around them, I can understand where they're coming from, but I still kick it with them like, you know, I still doobie vibe, you know, it's smoke a doobie, you know, and I get them out of that.
But you show them a lot of respect. I mean, everybody, you know, you're very mannerable.
I appreciate that.
Let's go to okay, you started getting good at the drums, right?
Right.
So how old were you when you gravitated to the?
Well, obviously I tinkered with it inside the garage. I came in there one day, the piano keys was up. I never seen nothing like it. I see obviously I'm a baby, so obviously I've never seen it. And so I see these things and it blows my mind. I go and I touch it and then, you know, just my mind was blown. I touch it again, my mind's super blown. It's been blown for 35 years, okay? I'm sitting up here.
You know this bad boy.
I know it enough to express myself.
Yeah.
You know, there's musicians who I've had a lot of ridicule from because I don't read. And I don't like resolve a chord the way they would like or things of such. And I went and I learned my theory and stuff like that. And I'm still having difficulty with it. But what I will tell you is what I have learned has developed me and my craft.
Right.
And those same artists and musicians can't say that my craft isn't effective or efficient.
Right.
And so I'm working on my craft.
That's another thing that shows that you are in your own lane, definitely, when it comes to this. So when you're doing things, it should be built around what you're doing.
Well, Lady B, every week I'm watching people who know theory playing Lamert in the alley, and they know theory out of this world, but the music is just sometimes limited. Last night was a good night, big sound system, you know, different musicians, not different musicians, different singers and things of such, and inspiring sound, so the musicians play differently. But these people know theory out of this world. They calling on the stage, they're making hand signals. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm creating music. You know, I'm creating music that they're going to be out there performing one day as covers and things of such.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so when you came to LA, how did you find Little Lamert then? Okay, how did you find Little Lamert?
I didn't find Lamert.
Before I go there, were you able to perform, play for your church or play?
I never played in church.
Okay.
My Aunt B, you know, I never played in church. That's not my story. You know,
Did you ever get a chance to play live out there before you actually came here?
Absolutely not. Okay. I only did a talent show, and it was to back then you had to have a DAT tape or a CD.
Okay. So true.
Okay, and I went to talent showcases.
Okay.
I did well. You know Jerome, he got signed by Puff Daddy. Jerome. He has a song called They Say You're Too Young For Me, right? His name is Jerome. He's on YouTube. He's signed by Puff Daddy. He was signed by Bad Boy Records. He's from Akron, he's from the West Side. We went to school together. And we all sang together. We were in a group. Oh, wow. And he had a really high voice, and he used to sing Whitney Houston songs. And he used to always win because he was singing these Whitney songs. We all grew up together. I grew up with LeBron James. Okay, he lived on my side of town. LeBron was that height you see him now. I think he may be an inch taller now. But he was that same height around 6th, 5th grade.
Wow.
So he was ginormous since like the 6th grade. And everybody knew it in the city that he was going to be a superstar.
Wow.
You know, I'm from the west side of Akron. You know, there's a lot of legendary energy that comes out of there. Wow. Not just myself, but...
That's what when you said, I'm like, this Akron is familiar to me. Like,
yeah. It's a place that when it pushes out strong trees, you know, they're real trees. Okay. You know. And I appreciate that, you know, my settings, you know, how the Most High aligned it. Okay. Yeah, because I'm still rich in that culture. Right. Even though I've been here 20 years now.
Yeah, it's embedded in you still. I mean,
yeah.
but you your own thing, Mark, I'm telling you. Look, let's go back, okay, so you get here to LA. Your musical connection happened where? Was it in Lamert or somewhere else?
my musical connection happened with my friend Donald Bailey. Recently on Facebook, I posted about his passing.
Oh, yeah.
He was murdered in Akron, and we need to say no to gun violence. I really appreciate the path. He was a very troubled young man growing up. All my life I know him, but he was my friend. I definitely appreciate him in the midst of all that, loving music and saying that, Mark, I don't know you. You're walking around here with this keyboard. Let's try to figure out something. And here I am, you know. And that's where it really started. You know, I was a lonely kid. I was lonely. I wanted my parents. I was just lonely. But my grandmother believed in my music, so she always would buy me a keyboard from Walmart. Well, it was Kmart then. Okay. So it was Kmart. And my grandmother would always buy me some cheap keyboard that I thought was fabulous because it was up high on the shelf. and yeah, you know, it worked. Okay. So yeah, so one day I was walking down the street, and I lived in a pretty rough neighborhood. I lived on Nome, and that's in Akron. That's on the west side, and that area is pretty much known for drug trafficking, sex trafficking, heavy sex and drug trafficking. You can get a minor there. You can get anything there.
Wow.
Okay, so it's been like that for decades, and I grew up in a rough terrain. I was walking down the street to go to the park, and here comes this guy. He comes off the porch, and the first thing I'm thinking is he's about to try to bother me about my keyboard, but I know karate.
Okay.
And I was gonna light his ass up, but he didn't know that. But lo and behold, it wasn't that. He said, "Hey, you know how to play that?" And I said, "Yeah." You know, he's like, "No, you don't."
Okay.
And I was like, "Yes, I do." I said, "It has batteries, and I can cut it on right
the
now."
battery ones it's wicked.
So I sat down right there on the porch. He had just jumped off, and I started playing with some stuff. He's like, all right. He's like, "I'm gonna come get you, man." He's like, "I know you're T. Coop's nephew. I'm gonna come get you. We're gonna go to my house." And that changed my life. He came to get me, and this guy was popular. Everybody knew him, Donald Bailey. He was popular. He come to get me, and we walked to his house, and he's telling me everything we're gonna do. We're gonna record on these tapes and this and that. So I get there, and I never see a karaoke machine in my life. And he has the microphones hung over the wood in the garage.
Hey, you know,
And I'm blown away by this shit.
Okay,
I'm blown away. I'm like, nigga. And his brother's Corvette was in there. Zig's Vet was in there.
Oh, so y'all even had the car in there while y'all working.
Yeah, and his brother was a D-boy. So the Vet was nice. It was peanut butter, it had sparkles.
Oh, wow.
And he said this all the time. He said, "Don't touch the car. My brother Zig would kill me if you touch the car." Okay. I never touched that car, okay? And one day, Zig came in there. And, you know, the top was on it and everything. He said, "Y'all touch my car." And I looked at Zig. I said, "Zig, we've never touched this car, man. We respect the car. We just be here doing music. We just want to be, you know, be inspired." He's like, "Oh, y'all want some inspiration?" And that's the first time I had seen him, you know, the whole car in its full ability. I kind of lifted it up there because he had a very heavy thing over it. And I lifted it up and I seen it. I'm like, "Whoa!" So he pulled the whole thing off, and we seen the beauty of this beautiful Camaro. He said, "Make some music and look at this." And he walks out the garage, right? Then he comes back and he has a little bit of Christian Brothers. We young.
Okay.
We young cats. Okay, I'm 13 years old. He pours me some Christian Brothers in the glass. And we get to record, and Doug shows me how to overdub, and I'm in there for hours. You know, just playing the 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you got to play it all the way.
Yeah, you got to play it all the
way. Rewind it back, put the other tape, do the kick snare. Next thing you know, I'm getting good at it. It still take about 3 hours to do one song.
But imagine you had to, back in the day, you had to play it all the way through.
All the way. But that's how I learned. And Duck came and got me weekly. And my grandmother knew he sold dope, but that wasn't why we were together. And she allowed me to be with him. And that world walked me into the side of the world that taught me how to take a punch. Get jumped. Fight for your friends. Right. Know when some shit about to pop off.
Know when some shit.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that part.
You know what I'm saying? And I really gotta thank my friend for that, because I was nerdy. I was a nerdy person, and he brought me into a world very, very, very smoothly, and it became intense at a point. But luckily, I had moved before it got too intense. Right. But I appreciate that, you know, because it taught me the street life.
Over here, it gave you that support too, as by yourself out here moving in LA.
Yeah,
you had those
this is a
skills
very
on your
tough
back.
place.
Yeah,
It's a very tough place, and having 20 years now of it, combined with that fusion, it has given me such a dramatic sense of growth and enlightenment, and a lot of people get me misinterpreted from the social media platform, but on a personal platform, I'm highly enlightened. I'm highly psychic about what's going on, not only on the planetary level, but on a spiritual level. And I make mistakes too. I mean, I'm prone to do that, and I'm a musician, so that's just my covet, if you will. But as the art should never be rendered or stopped or tricked or confused. You should know if that's a woman on stage singing or not. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, so let's go to you when you first in LA and when you got to the music scene. Okay, you was there with OG and them. Where was the first place, if you can remember, where you were able to actually play along with someone? Or
It was with Uncle Juan. Okay. Look, I had flight school. You know about Natural High and all that. Been there for years. I was there before I knew Juan.
Well, how did you get to those? Because I'm gonna say about those places too. But before you got there, I know like your whole style and everything. It looked like when you met people, they was so in awe. Whatever they knew about you, they was just like, you the man. Because you had your own everything.
I always had. When these people met me then, I was really balling. Had my own place in Westchester. Had some time at the Getty. Young in my 20s. And I showed up to the Industry Cafe and Jazz one night off of word of mouth. Someone said there's an open mic down here.
Okay.
And it was called Natural High at the time.
Okay.
And I showed up and signed up, paid $5.
Paid the $5.
You know.
Hey, but you blew the place away. I remember I was sitting up in there and people was talking. And it was like do, and their heads turned, and it was just like everybody was trying to see where you was going. You let the music do its thing first, and then you touch the mic a little bit and say, "Good night, everybody." I mean, it's crazy.
It was perfect. It's those things where people would say, "Why did you stop?" Right? Well, it's not that I stopped. It's that you got exactly what you wanted. Right. And you want more, and so what was happening here is
you have to let them know who they get it from.
Right. just because when I fully unload, you know, it's like Star Wars. Yeah, it's like a whole nother planet showed up, and you got a planetary problem. You know what I'm saying? Not just a social problem. I'm coming from the galaxy with it. You know, and I see a lot of people trying to hinder me, but just like with Della showing up with his gear, and it's very easy, you know, and they also have these people, you know, there's streets all over this place. I can film and record myself jamming anywhere, you know, because the vibe is gonna vibe. The Mert has a vibe, you know, but I'm not worried about what's going on in politics.
Right? Yeah, no, you can't. This is the thing, you can't. I'll share with you just from me and my point of view of being on the outside watching you. You here and you're around us, and you know you're in the Murray, you do your thing. But for you, your stuff is set away. There's gonna be a door that's gonna open, and it's just gonna be sky's the limit. Cause trust me, the stuff that you're doing, you're on another level. The times that I've seen you live, okay, you've been your own artist by yourself, a whole showcase. Here's Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was on a lower level. It's not even to the level where it can be.
Right.
And you was doing that. And people was requesting, I didn't even know you. You was like, come to your show. You know, I see you jam in the park a little bit or something. And then you was like, I'm doing this show, come to the show. And I was like, told my friend, I'm gonna go over here. They doing like open mic thing. And this guy invited me. I went there and you like blew up the place. Then there was another place on Manchester.
Yeah.
What was the name of that place again?
It was called Vibrations.
Vibrations.
Food for thought. The socks.
I love that place. It was so big.
That place was off the hook. And that guy cooking that vegan food.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It reminded me of like for LA, for us to have that, it was a kind of underground, like, music spot.
It sure was.
You know, and
sure was.
everybody didn't know. For LA to have, we got a few places here that you don't know. I mean, well, now it's kind of, but there's a few places in LA where you can go and get all kind of different styles of music. And when you came, like, there was different style, but you have your whole different. You make other musicians be like,
Right.
They was like, what?
Right. Just want them to get a little bit creative.
Yeah. Look, let's share something with them. Let's give them a little piece because we're talking about what you got. Share.
So lately, you know, I've fully gone R&B. It's my thing, and it's what I want to do.
I think you should.
It's my power. So let's go ahead and listen to one of these tracks. It's called This Time. This is fully produced by me, mastered, mixed, and performed by Mark Minor, aka Mark JUNIUS. Right?
You magic on me. You can't forget the capacity of emotion.
What did you have?
I feel like the frequencies and waves you dish out to me from outer space. They travel so far to me. They travel so far.
That's This Time.
You played all the instruments.
I played all that, and so that's what I was talking about. Mm-hmm. You know, you hear the drums, you hear everything. Those are all live instruments.
And you played all
every single thing. You know, yeah, and tracked it by myself.
Well, how did you? I mean, what did you learn how to record yourself? Like,
oh yeah, well, I learned. See, there you go. And I said his name earlier, Stefan Villanueva. Okay. He was my mentor for 5 years. He's the whole reason why I moved to the Valley, because that was the first time I ever been there.
Wow.
I went to the Valley in 2002.
Is that the white guy?
You haven't met him.
Oh, no, I saw a picture that you had.
No, that's Edwin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Stefan's Spanish.
Oh.
Stefan is Spanish. He's a Spaniard, and he has brother Tony, who had a shoe store in Northridge. They had a studio in their house. Man, let me tell you something. I met him through trial and error. Somebody stole my friend's music, and I had all the masters on my keyboard still, the beats. I didn't have his lyrics. I said, you got to rap everything over again. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
But he told his cousin was at work complaining about it to one of his coworkers, and the secretary heard him. They said, hey, I heard what happened, and my boyfriend has a studio. Let me tell you, the world is amazing.
Yeah, connection.
So Danny's like, okay, my coworker says she knows somebody. We end up going to the studio, and I end up learning everything.
Wow.
I mean, let me tell you something. You know, white people,
they
when they do shit, they do it all the way. They don't play. Yeah. They know how to repair their shit. And so this motherfucker had me in. He had me in.
Okay.
He kind of lost his mind because he was messing with this girl and just took off, went up north. But when he had his mind, wow. I mean, he taught me how to solder. He taught me how to record.
Okay.
I mean, record. I remember because I came over. He said, your beats are looping.
He said, you got them going for 8 bars and that's it. He said, that's not a song. He says, I'm going to show you how to structure your music.
Okay.
And I never knew about chorus, bridge, hook,
Right.
you know, intro,
Right.
you know. And
Hey, that's good.
yeah, so he taught me. And I would spend hours there. My mom would spend like $100 to send me in a cab just to go to the house. Yeah, because, and I would be there for months. One time I was gone for 2 months. My mom was like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, when I came back to the house and I had a CD. I had a CD.
Okay.
I said, Mom, listen to this. She says, I know you've been smoking. Your lips are black and everything. I gave her the CD.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Mom, put this in the stereo. We got to find, what is those systems called? Iowas or whatever they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the CD in and the music come on. And I did like a radio skit. West Coast like radio skit. And my mom was like, you did this? I said, that's me, Mom. She said, what? I said, go to the next song. Next song, come on. She said, what? You never said, what the fuck? I said, I came up to her like 4 days later. I said, Mom, I said, house is clean, chores is done. I want to take back off out to staff. She was like, okay. Like 20 minutes later, my mom calls me, I come in the room. She gives me a couple $100. She says, when you want to leave? I said, you know, whatever. Call my cat, took off. I stayed out there. I could walk in the house. I was so a part of the family. And I was told by the mom who stayed there, who loved me so much. We used to watch Christian stuff in the morning. I used to wake up with her like I was in the room. In her room, this is my friend's mom. I'm in her room watching Christian stuff. The older brother loved me, Robert. It was like, that guy? The Lord loves that guy. They used to always say, the Lord loves that guy. I could come in the house. I didn't have to knock. I could walk right in. I could walk in, eat, step, walk in. Hey, Mark. Baby might call me Baby Mark. Hey, Baby Mark. Hey, hey. I had that kind of love, and so that I can never be racist and stuff like that because, you know what I'm saying? I have so much love from people in the world who gave all their art to me, you know? I never picked up a bass or a guitar in my life until I met Steph. Steph was like, try it, Baby Mark. You don't know until you know, you know?
Wait, how old were you when you started connecting with the music, started really doing stuff for you emotionally?
Oh, man, emotionally it was like around 16. When I moved out here, my mom was so like, you know, such a strong woman, had such a very powerful movement in her life. She's writing a book right now, and I can't wait for it to come out. It's going to change women's lives. My mom, she seemed sad. I don't know what it was, but I do know she had got ulcers, real bad ulcers after that. So something was going on. I could feel the energy, but I didn't know about energy then. But I could feel my mom, and I wanted to cheer her up.
Okay.
I felt happy. And so I started doing these happy songs and naming them nice songs like Golden Dust and stuff like that, you know. And I would come in the house and say, Mom, listen to this song I wrote. And I'd sing it to her. My mom would, I like that. She starts singing with me and harmonizing because my mom and Tammy know how to harmonize. Tammy's my auntie, her sister. My mom would harmonize. I like this, Rashid. So it got intense. We moved to Westchester, got a nice condo, 2-bedroom condo. My mom let me put my music equipment, start building my music equipment up. And I was in that bitch romping. My mom dated this guy named Coco. He was bodyguard for Beyonce at the time. And she brought him over to the house. And he took me to Devonshire Studios. And I met one of the producers for B2K. And I'm sitting inside this illustrious studio. And I'm in like, whoa. He said, so sing something for me. And the guy who was there, his name was Danny. And he had wrote music for Donnell Jones, right? And he was just like, he took me to the piano room. He was like, if you're a real musician, sing to me and play the piano, right? By myself, just nigga. I'm in Hollywood.
See, you know what? That right there is the test. People don't.
Yeah.
When you say you do stuff, don't play.
Right.
That any time in LA, you can be in positions where they'll say, "Oh yeah, give it to me."
Right.
And you got to have something to give.
I started playing Brian McKnight, Drive Across Your Mind, right?
Okay.
So I started.
And that's a good one.
So as I started doing it, he does this. Okay. He leans forward immediately like this.
The song choice alone.
Then because it's all R&B.
Yeah, it's all.
You know. So I razzle and I dazzle, and he tells me what he needs and what I can do to critique my music and work on my music. This is coming from a guy who I'm waiting outside for him to pull up into his studio gated. We're already in. Coco's a bodyguard.
Right.
The gate opens up. But before the gate opens up, I hear Coco says, "Oh, he's coming." I said, "Who's coming?" He says, "Danny." I said, "How do you know?" He said, "You'll know." I hear. I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" Next thing you know, I hear, look, gate opens up, and when the gate opens up, boom, big red Ferrari, big like one of the meaty ones, not the ones on the TV.
Yeah,
the one with the big shit around the tire. It has the fan on the back. He pulls up. He's like, "Danny's here." I'm like, "Nigga, this is what music can do." I grabbed Coco's big arm like, "This is what music can do." He's like, "Calm down, Mark. I know." He says, "I work with these people."
Okay.
You know, and so I go in the studio. They got Skittles. They had Skittles in a vase like this tall.
Okay.
And it had a scooper, and you could scoop out as much Skittles as you wanted.
Oh wow.
I was going crazy in there.
Sugar. Hey, that's been my alcohol and drugs.
I was in front of one of the most expensive councils in the world. It was an SSL council.
Okay.
It was phenomenal council. They only made 30 of them. And he had one, and it was right there. And he took my songs that I had on CD, and he made them sound like, wow, in seconds. He was like,
You know, I wanted to ask you, did you ever, were you ever, able to go to the, what's it, the noun? You know, that little convention that they have for music and all new music coming out
right.
in Long Beach? Because you would lose your mind in there.
I think now that I've gotten out of that place of doubt, there was a lot of no credit. I was not giving myself any credit. And so now that I'm growing out of that, okay? I like to use honest words. I'm an honest man. I'm growing out of that. Now I'm more into focusing on growing the music to my musicality to a level to where it's just hitting people.
Right.
You know, hitting them faster than the actual jab. You know.
Yeah, you gotta stop keeping it. You gotta start sharing this because you could have been did you a couple of all kind of commercials, little skits here and there, placements on. You have it like that.
Right, and it's just that getting settled and getting into a place where I'm settled and I'm comfortable. Yeah. You know, because like when I had my children, I was on a very high rise when my first daughter came onto the planet, and when she came, I immediately stopped because I said, this is my baby. Yeah, I took care of her.
I've seen you with the two of them at the park. You were so cute. One day you was changing one of them pampered and had the other one sitting right there. I was like, look at him on the grass. You were so cute.
You're just trying to take care
of... Look, you blew a lot of people's mind with that one. Men out there who know they don't do their business. That was too much, Mark. Me and my friend, I think it was Jackie, I was like, girl, look at him. We was like, oh my God, I said, this is too much out here. He don't even know what he's doing. You got two little girls, one sitting on the side of you, and you sit down in the grass and you just lay something down and you laid her down and just put her little pants down and just change her little diaper, and the other one was leaning on your side right there. Then you grab her and hold her. I mean, you was doing a lot for a man in the park with all these people around. I said, he's doing too much, but look how beautiful it is. And you wasn't watching nothing. You was making sure they was good. Then you put your backpack on, and then you grab the other one's hand and held the other one and walked over by the drum. It was so beautiful. He's like, look at the new Mark. You ain't left Lamert behind, boy, at all.
No, I never left Lamert. I've been true to it. Yeah. I saved a man's life down there recently. A whole man. He got shot in the neck. Okay, I'm not a first responder, but responds first.
Okay. I seen your energy was up because I came after it happened. I didn't know what happened. I was like, Mark, you good? You was like, oh yeah, I'm wonderful. And at that time, I didn't know what had happened. But that, energy, it was big right there.
Oh yeah. It's we have power around where we're at. Think about this. People talk about Vegas. They'll say, I'm going to Vegas. And so what's there? It's like, well, these things that they wanted there. It's like, but they say Vegas.
Right.
With so much emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
I
know everybody follow it, but the times I went there, I didn't get too much.
I never got much done when I went there. But what I will say is that emphasis is what is capturing to me. You know, when I say car, what do you think about?
Driving fast.
When I say a house, what do you think about?
Living comfortable.
Right. See, everyone has a different view. Some people say a Ferrari, you know.
Okay.
You see? And somebody will say a big house.
Okay, house for me is
You know,
comfort.
you said comfort. See, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, when we go to the restroom, it's go to the restroom.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's no in between.
Right.
You see? And I want my music to be like that. No in between. When someone knows, they know.
Right.
You see? They can interpret it how they want to, but they know. The road is the road, right? But the road changes. The road goes from the road to the highway, from the highway to the freeway, you know, to the freeway to the overpass.
You know, for your music, before, now you say you're more R&B. You said that's your new thing.
Yeah.
What would you say the category where it would fit before?
I definitely would say jazz.
Jazz.
Yeah, because that's what I was studying.
Okay.
You know, I was studying jazz and doing jazz fusion. You remember the jazz fusion?
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Look at me. The climb of the music is what would be crazy, but it would be beautiful too.
Right.
Like,
it'd be beauty there, and then the climbs were really good, and they were all improv, and so that just shows you how much we were connected as a musician, or orchestration. You know, we really don't want to hinder one another. We never did.
I remember one time, at the little place too over there, flight school, when you had to just said, and right at the end, it was so, everybody was so into it, and you just, when you finished, you just jumped up and you had walked out the door, and everybody was like, it was so.
Yeah, that was a powerful set.
Yeah, I would say that night it was
I came for vengeance that night. I was being disrespected by the staff there.
You had a long trench coat on.
Yeah. Yeah, I came like that.
Okay.
I dressed for my mood.
Okay.
If I come to get you, I dress like I'm coming to get you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I dressed like that, and I went. And a lot of people don't even know this. I used to sleep in my car during that time, and I actually walked from my car with my keyboard down there. A skateboard actually was my keyboard down there in my hand, and I was super fly. And that night, strangely enough, Ray J, Brandy's brother, saw me. He was on what is that, La Cienega, or is it La Brea in Washington? And he looked at me. He saw me skateboarding. I had a trench coat with my keyboard, and he honked and flashed his lights. And I looked, and I thought it was just a regular black dude. When I looked again, because I had to stop it, to cross the street. It's Ray J. I was like, fuck, man, it's Ray J. So he's like, that's cool, man. And drives off in this Benz. I was like, wow. So then I go to my set, and I fucking slayed that night.
It was crazy.
I had great weed. I had all the honey wine I wanted, And no one would ever know that that's how I was living.
How long was you, okay, you guys, this is Lady B here, the Music Link. We're here with Mark. Unias, let me make sure I say it right. Mark Unias, you guys, a wonderful musician. He knows how to play 10 instruments, okay? We're getting this breakdown, okay? There was a time when he was homeless, and you wouldn't know it, trust me. I don't know when in there did he get homeless, but I remember seeing him. You got a job, where you was working at, downtown LA somewhere, because I remember you said you working.
LAX.
It was
Yeah,
LAX?
and then I got the Louis Vuitton job.
Okay, the Louis Vuitton job. This is the one, because a couple of times I was like, Mark, where? He was like, as you can see, he's a very handsome man, okay? Now, when he gets dressed, you hear me? He straight up model out of runway. At this time, clean, his pants, the creases was crisp. I don't know how you did all that.
Yeah, right.
He was living in his car in Leimert Park. And I remember you seeing coming around the corner one time and you was on your way to work. And I'm like, that's when you stopped me. You was telling me that you worked at a place downtown. And I was like, yeah, it fits you.
Yeah.
He was geared. And then you had a hat on too. I was like, you killing him with the hat. This alone, the dress was okay. I said, but the hat, oh my God, you killing me.
Thank you.
So you.
That's the day I went downtown. I was working for Acne Solutions. That day I was doing a depot for them. I used to always get hired to do special depots, so they liked my look.
Okay.
You know, so there was like, we want a guard, but we want someone who looks good. You know, it's a
Right.
very discriminating security company, and that's fine with me because I got a lot of good gigs.
Okay.
Yeah,
You used to be geared up, Mark.
I had to be.
You was sleeping in your car. Now,
I was.
How was that?
It was fun. After I got over the hard parts, I was getting paid so much money that I was there, but I didn't have to be. I would go get an Airbnb anytime I wanted. I'd go get a room. But you know what I liked the most is how when I got that job, right? I was down there with so many brothers, Mark Golding, Seven. There was so many of us. When I got paid, they got paid. It was funny because Seven would come to me. He's like, "It's payday today, ain't it, right, Mark?" I was like, "It is, right?" So I would go to the store and buy everybody what they want. You know, get them High Life, get them herb. You know, yep.
Looking out for everybody.
I did, yeah. They loved me.
And
Yeah.
I know it's like a little family. It's like 20 million families in one over there.
Mark Golding, who I was just mentioning, he was there with me during that time. He's the one who taught me how to play the flute, and I went off on the flute. I mean, can't nobody tell me I can't play the flute at this point.
Okay.
So, you know, but that's, you would think, like, oh, he just takes money, you know, find me a little, you know, little honey, take off, leave everybody. But no, I came back down there with my Impala, and I was just, you know, we're all sleeping and hanging out, and, you know.
And you still gigging?
Still kicking it. I was just able to drop my shit out at the cleaners now, that's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Wow.
But it was,
so the money went to making sure you was
girls is okay.
okay.
Yeah. Rocky cleaned up. Cause I didn't have anywhere to send the money, so I was sending $500 one week, and then just the next week I'd be like, you know what? Cause I got paid every week, every Friday. So I was like, you know, $300 now. Okay. I was just kind of cause I didn't have nowhere to really spend it.
Right.
And I wasn't like trying to stack it up to get in an apartment.
Right.
My mind wasn't there because I had already suffered from homelessness for so many years. I was like, nah, I'm actually going to just buy a bunch of music equipment. So that's what I started doing. That's why you see me popping up.
Because you would have.
Remember, I just kept popping up on Instagram.
With different instruments.
Wham! It got to the point to where I got so much, I started giving them away. So that's why you don't see me repeating. Okay. Because a lot of them I've given away already to people. And they are playing those instruments.
Okay. Okay, so the drum circle, what does the drum circle do for you?
The drum circle helped develop my masculine side. Now, I have a lot of feminine side to me, but I have a masculine side to me as well, and the drum circle helped me develop that without the, it's a safe zone. I'm allowed to get in a couple fights, a couple shoves, without actually getting killed and beat the fuck up, you know? So it's like being at a dojo, you know?
The drum circle, you guys, Lamert Park, he's talking about.
I remember when I first came there and I tried to play the drums, and Dita, the one who's who's always playing in the middle, he's like, no. And I thought it was because I didn't know how to play or the rhythms. Come to find out, they didn't want me to play because they thought I was gay. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you guys serious, man? So I'm glad we're live right now so people can understand the kind of torment I went through to become the musician I am today. So don't ever think I'm discriminatory against homosexuality, as I've been tortured by it that had nothing to do with it at all. So,
and that's a mess because you're handsome and so attractive, huh? They was like, you could not just come here and be comfortable with what we got going on. For them, they was like, no, man, this ain't you.
Yeah. So I stood in the back because they made me, and I started shaking.
Shake. Okay.
And I'm still gay. I'm still gay, y'all. But they like the way I'm shaking the Shaker-Ray. Some of them don't like it because I'm gay and they think it's like, a gay thing.
He's not gay now.
But I'm not. And I'm like, so lo and behold, like, and at this time I wasn't really, messing around with any women or anything. I was on a very serious celibate tip. I was studying Taos Kundalini. And
I remember you said something about that too.
Yeah, I did it for 3 years. So that's when I had met Rocky. I immediately had Asha because I hadn't been with nobody for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So no one really could be like, they didn't know what I was because I wasn't like in nobody's face.
You weren't trying to get with nobody.
Yeah.
Just there, yeah.
So finally,
Long and behold, like, one of the drum circle guys comes to a Dunnies,
Okay.
right? And they see me perform, and it's a fired up night.
Because of you.
And it was packed. You know, some nights it's whatever, but this night it was. You know, it gets packed. You know when it got packed in there when he would cut the light off.
Okay.
That's when we knew we was
Everybody
like,
started relaxing.
it's super packed. So it was one of them nights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know him like that, but the next Sunday, Revelations, right? So I come into the party, and this boxer, his name's Greg. He says, "Hey man, can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah." Right? He says, "You know, you a phenomenal musician, right?" And I said, "Thank you." Right? He's like, I don't want to sound rude when I say this. And I was like, okay. He's like, "Are you gay, man?" And I said, I looked at him, I was kind of stunned. Because that's when it hit me that everybody thought I was gay. And I didn't know it. I thought people just didn't like me.
Over time, you know about Lemur. Like,
right, he's like, "Are you gay?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yes, really."
Oh, God.
He was like, and this is how he says it, "Ain't that a son of a bitch?" That's what he said. "Ain't that a son of a bitch?" I said,
they done said that. They done keep him out. They done put the word out.
Right. So I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Ain't this a son of a bitch?" And he starts laughing. And I said, "Everything okay?" He's like, "It is now."
Right.
And I said, "Okay." And he was like, "You don't understand." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Everybody around here thinks you're gay, right?" So I'm like, "Wow." I was like, "Are you serious?"
Oh, my God.
He was like, "I'm very serious." He's like, "That's why I asked you." Okay. I was like, "Well, you can tell him I'm not." I was like, and it'll start from there. How about that?
Aww.
And then he was like, "All right." And he gives me that, right?
Okay.
And he was my friend from then on and then on.
You don't see even that little encounter for people in America, that helps them too to open up when outsiders come in who's not the same.
Right.
All you just have was your own sense of style.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How you move and you stay clean.
Yeah.
So, you know, to not judge, be so judgmental right away, to have to sit back and take people. That would help them too, you know that, because we have so many people now coming in from different places. You couldn't just point right away and say what it is.
You can't do that now.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and so a bridge has been crossed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful that I got to bring that up and that gets documented, because that's a true story. And now look at me, I'm a master drummer. You know, I've had instruments made by Pat. Pat made my drum. You saw me. You saw the drum I had made. So, master drummers making drums for me. I went from being gay to went from being to making the master drummer making me my own drums.
And then when you get in a circle, like yesterday, actually, when I saw you was really on the roll. Okay, you had your little soft shirt on and your chest out. You couldn't have made it there. You was on the big drum too. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, they love when I play the big drum. They love it because I come with another rhythm. I come with boom. I come with the thunder. They like it. Yeah. It throws them around.
So you hit hard.
I hit hard.
You hit
and
hard.
I'm in the wrist the whole time. And I learned from them.
Yeah.
Dita, watching them. I want people to know that don't let hate run you away.
Right.
Because I could have let that run me away.
It could have discouraged you.
It could have discouraged me, but I came and I got disrespected weekly. And now look at me, I'm a master drummer. You put something in front of me that's a drum, and I'm going to play it.
And you're part of the family. And you didn't have to change you to get in there.
No, I just had to just be myself. And it happened for me. People were turning out at Adonai's to come see me.
Yeah.
They were getting I remember when Adonai was making me play late.
Yeah.
And so
because the people wanted to hear you.
Yeah, so guess what, folks? Remember when folks started coming later?
Uh-huh.
He said, "Well, I'm gonna charge more." Remember he said that?
He is a mess because that's his drink's not getting sold until later.
Cats was showing up because they wanted to. Because at that moment and where we were at in the time and the age, that kind of freed us up from the delusion. And now that we're in this age, I feel like in my personal music endeavor right now, I want to nourish and nurture the woman. Yeah. And so that's why my music is dedicated to the R&B soul.
And we need that. Let's give them some live something. You guys, we're here with Mark JUNIUS. you guys, and give us some live stuff. Let them see you at work. Thank you guys for tuning into the music link. Lady J, pick up yourself. She's tuned in. She said enough love, respect. Yeah.
You know, this, we got a,
Oh, the battery went
yep, the battery went out on our unit here that we were going to use to do some sequencing,
Oh.
but that's okay. We can always flip it because that's what we do. Give it up for the music link.
I would say you're really a genius at this music. Just think, like, if you take time to, far as I know you do your thing, you feel your music, but if you take time to and you learn the chords, I learned to read it like how to, you're gonna really be just, you know, maybe that could be something that's waiting for you. You know?
Yeah, most definitely because
people who can read it don't even know the sounds like how you know the sounds.
right, yeah, people you're right about that. People who know how to like you said read, they don't know how, they don't really know how to.
There's some people, as soon as you just jumped in different jams and got in there, listen to the music and you know where they are. There's people who even have the chords and still not playing what's going on, you know?
Right. No, they don't know. It has to be something, you know. It has to be spiritual.
Yeah, could really connect.
It has to be a spiritual thing. And I'll pull up some funky drum loops here. And we're gonna freak out something. Is that cool?
That's what we need that.
Okay.
Let them see you raw, you guys. Listen to the sound.
Yeah, go ahead. That's awesome.
No, what is this called?
This is Elisa's Ion.
Okay.
And this is a synthesizer.
A synthesizer.
Yeah.
So when you're playing, you can make the notes go higher and do things with it.
Well, you can do so many. We're gonna do something cool. Let's type in this. I love this. I love doing this. This is awesome. We have.
So you recorded other people too, right? Music, like produce.
I have done a lot of work for people, and
Who are some of the artists? That I might know.
Some of the artists you might know. Down in Lamert, I recorded, but I don't know if you know him, but Phaedra, he's been down in Lamert practicing drums with people playing the crowd guitars. You know, the guy who's making the guitars.
Yeah.
I recorded his album this year.
Oh.
I recorded his whole album, okay? And I was going to record Pap's album. So...
Do you ever think about doing more of that, like, you know, producing? And you can have your own label.
You know what? I am thinking about it.
Because if you can do it, and a lot of people, they want to do it right now, but they can't find the places or find people that were willing to work with them and could get the project done, if not the project done, a project, you know what I mean?
Right. If they don't have like someone to really like work with them, they're not gonna get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Find a nice drum groove, you know, something we can play off of. I don't want nothing like that. I don't want too old school, you know. It's cool. That's cool. Let's try this out right here. That's nice. Like that. go.
And it just held on. What was that? The sustain? Is that what that was?
It's called Latch.
Woo.
Yeah, so you like that?
Yeah.
So we just funked it out right there real quick. You know what I'm saying? That was a vibe. It's a vibe.
Look,
So
after let me see. After you perform and everybody's into it, like what does it do for you?
it feels good because I'm into it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I was into that. You felt it. It was like boom, boom, boom. You know?
The
And
connection.
that's a track right there. You know, so there's a connection. You know, then we got the arc going. This is magical.
Wow, different sounds. When you're playing, what is it that you really want the people to get?
I want them to get the magic.
Hey, you guys see this? This is the vibe that he gives. And could you imagine when he has a band built around him? There's been times where I went to see him performing. He's doing all this and everything's catering to this sound. Everyone in the room is just like this feeling. If you guys really was listening, the connection, everyone will be feeling that in the place at one time, like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's transferable. It's energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's delivery.
Because
It's,
when you go in there, if you let yourself open up and connect, you'll feel the transition.
yeah, you'll know that there's some work happening.
Yeah, there's, but
Yeah.
it's not. If you just like,
If you're just
you,
there,
yeah, you ain't gonna get. But if you
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
you can feel it.
you can feel it. You're like, oh, there's something
Yeah.
going on here, and then like it's gonna go.
Yeah,
You know, that's the finish. And that's beautiful.
This is the same thing like how when you say the big time, the mixers like scientists. He's a big, I guess producer. And he's worked on a lot of people's albums. And when he does live concerts, they always want the scientists because what he does is he's twisting and turning, making sure certain sounds are connecting
Right.
and complementing the band and the artist at the same time. That same thing,
Right.
you doing it as a performance soloist.
Soloist, live.
Yeah, live.
And you saw how I was, and
Yeah.
I'm moving, and I know exactly what I'm doing, you know, and I'm able to, you know,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
So the singing part. Now,
Mhm.
when did you start feeling comfortable enough to say you're gonna sing?
Oh, I started feeling
Music
comfortable
playing.
enough when like that happened around flight school time.
Yeah, but your singing thing is great too.
I love singing.
This last thing that I seen you did, like if you guys watched the beginning, the last piece right there, I was so connected with that vibe, like far as it being a signature for you to, you know,
Right.
be sharing in that vibe.
Right.
It's hot.
It's time.
Oh,
It's time to sing with that,
yeah.
and you know, have that as like a part of the song.
where people are like, I didn't expect it to go there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a movie, and folks are really going to, you know, enjoy that. But this is a very fun instrument.
Play again.
Find some. We're gonna improv something. Trillions of sounds. What's the pick from? I like this sound. Let's turn the mono off. Reminds me of an old CV organ. Like it. Okay, so let's have some fun here. And we're gonna get us an R&B.
So you're working on an album right now.
Oh, I got a fire album. I got tracks.
Are you finished already?
Almost.
Okay.
You heard one of them.
Are you gonna collab or let other people come in?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely collab on my next project.
Okay.
Because that's more geared towards, you know, let's see what we got here. Oh no, that's too R&B.
Oh, so you want yours like on the edge of R&B, but it could go somewhere else.
You know what? These days, there's no really good quality music. That's why I have to go to my banks, which I try to stay out of because I want to give people the stuff, you know, completed. But you know what? We're just gonna funk it out right now. We're gonna funk it out to one of my tracks, okay? Alright? That's gonna be a fun track to funk out to. Alright, what's going on here? Hey, there we go. We're back. Alright. This track right here. This is all live production, okay?
All instruments done by you.
All of it. What's going on here? We can't be doing this.
Okay.
Take the phone from me. I can't have it over here in this area. I keep stopping by track. Right, so here we go. We're gonna funk it out.
So before we go, that last thing that do you have it recorded? That last song?
Yeah, that's my song.
Okay, can you play that for us to leave on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Music Link. You guys can look up his Facebook page, Mark Unias, or on Instagram and follow him and see what he's got going on. And he's got, is that it right there?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. This is his latest project, you guys. So beautiful. I love it.
This track is called This Feeling.
Is the vocals on there too? No?
It's just vocoder. And like, it's for skating.
Okay. Yeah.
For getting on the skates and hitting your skates.
But the one that you was singing with, is this it? The one that you was singing, I put it on the video at the end?
Which one? Which the one? Do I have that? No,
Yeah.
that's just.
Is it oh my God.
That was freestyling.
You got to
That
got
was freestyling.
Okay, but you
that.
gotta do that song. You
I'm
need to
telling you.
record that.
I'm telling you. I'm freestyling.
Yeah,
that
that one.
one.
But no, finish playing that. That was beautiful.
That's
right there.
fine. No, we just romped that, you know, and we're signing out. So let's play a nice groovy one.
Okay.
I'm really into the synthesizers, you know.
Yeah.
I know what's needed.
Everybody can work with that. Trust
You know, so thank you so much
I want to thank you for
coming through and vibing and
sharing and letting us see the nitty gritty. You guys, if y'all love anything that you heard tonight, you can look him up and, you know, he could share some vibes with your musical vibes. If you have artists that you want to refer to him for the sound, you can look him up. You send inbox me or go to Mark Unias' Facebook page or Mark Unias Instagram, you guys, and connect. So now if you see him out and about too, y'all know, you know, he's bigger than what you see.
Right.
A lot of things going on here.
Got a lot of things going real smart up here in the head.
A lot of things going on here. He, trust me, when he was really doing his shows where he was like headlining, we always in awe when we see him walking around because he would just be so chill, but he would have this massive explosive show of energy and music and vibes. That's that whole East Coast style that you have brought to us.
I did. I'm from the Midwest, but it's East Coast too, Midwest.
But we didn't have it out here.
Right.
You know, you was the only one with that when it was showtime, especially at Down Eyes. We'd be there, and when it's showtime, everybody know that you finna get this other, you know, more than what you know. We were looking at you from eyes where you blew up over there, and you just came to come share over here, kind of thing. Where
Right.
you're trying to bring your vibe over here.
Right.
You know, that's how it was looking like. I mean, that's how. Because me too, I was thinking that too, like, oh, he's an accomplished musician over there. He just came to LA now and trying to, you know.
Yeah, I started accomplishing here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I actually started developing right there. I learned with everybody, you know, Billy, you know, everybody, and they are a part of me and my music,
Yeah.
everything.
So we ready. I'm ready too.
Lady Dread, all those songs, Shalom. I know his songs by heart. I can just do it off. I've seen him perform every Sunday night.
Right.
You know.
That's another thing. Let me say, like, isn't it like exciting to see the different avenues of people and music coming now to Lamar, and we've been there for so long.
You know, they feel comfortable because we're there.
Yeah.
They feel at home because home's there.
Right.
You know. So it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful
To
thing.
know that you're a pillar too. People
Yeah.
expect to see you.
Yeah.
You know, people need to see you.
Yeah.
You know, Pap came to me. He's, you know, he's so black and he's so rooted
Yeah.
in his time on the universe.
Uh-huh.
He says, "We need to see you." When someone's telling you that with that much
Right.
melanin, that's a charge you have to respect.
Mhm.
You know?
And he's a real people person. He's such a blessing, and
Yeah.
when he says stuff, it means a lot.
Mhm.
Because he don't talk a lot.
You don't talk like when he says it, he
He
means
don't
it,
talk a
like,
lot.
you know.
Pick up yourself, Pap. You know what I'm saying? Holding down the drum circle and Lamar teaching everybody the drums and the connection. And I watched an interview he just had recently, and he was saying that he can tell the people who was coming just to be a part of something, or people who's playing, or people who connect.
Right.
I was like, wow. He said he can tell right away. He's like, it's not for him to tell them, but he knows who's doing what right away.
Right.
I was like, yeah, for real. Like he's a real teacher. So if you see him and people thinking he's just doing something, he's really working, and each person he's connected with them individually in his own way.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning into the Music Link. This is Lady B. Mark JUNIUS here. Look out for him and go to his YouTube. Go to his Instagram and Facebook and look up and see what he's doing and connect with him if you love any of this, you guys. If you want to hear more, we're gonna have once this stuff, you know what I'm saying, go away. Trust me, we're gonna have some stuff going on with him because I want to do some stuff for him too. We're gonna have something going on here. Because right now you're like another beautiful piece added to LA, but you don't have to build who you are. Everybody who's around, we know who you are.
Right.
And you can do your thing on a level where when they come in there, that whole connection,
Right.
you already done it already. So
Right.
just back to your roots again. For you.
Right. Back to my roots.
For you.
Yep. For me.
All right, you guys. Lady B, Mark, and we out of here.
Peace.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Go to my YouTube page too, the Music Link. Like, subscribe, and share. Tell a friend. Bless up.